Yeah.
All right. So despite Americans hungry for real policy from this Democratic
That's
Party,
all we want.
the Democrats won't stop with this obsession for impeachment. Okay. And why? Why, I ask why. And, fam, we talked about this too. I said there's a lot of things I love about Rashida Tlaib. The one thing I can't stand is her push for impeachment because I feel it's an empty promise. The Republicans control the Senate, and even if it gets through the House, it's pretty much dead on arrival for the Senate. So just yesterday, Nancy Pelosi, she held off these aggressive Democrats who are dead set on impeaching Donald Trump. You can see right over here, it says Pelosi clashes with the Dems in a closed-door debate. And another one from The Point by Chris Kaliza said, how long can Nancy Pelosi hold off these Democrats on impeachment? Okay. And things really got intensified the other day when Trump's ex-White House, his counsel, refused to show up in Congress the other day. Like, he refused to show up. They're almost daring now the Democrats to impeach them. Okay?
Yeah.
And, we put up over here when Clinton got impeached, his approval ratings shot through the roof. Exactly. They were going up. They were already trending as they were preparing to impeach him, as they were persecuting him for what he had done. And even regardless, he even said, I had no sexual relationships with that woman. Remember?
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Now, he was guilty of it, and it says, in wake of the House of Representatives' approval of the two articles of impeachment, Bill Clinton's approval ratings has jumped 10 points to 73% in the last Gallup poll. So pretty much, fam, they impeached him. He was guilty. He lied and said he had no sexual relations with that woman. Then she produced the cloth that had all the sticky stuff on it, ran his DNA. They caught him red-handed. He had to admit he was wrong.
The whole thing is just disgusting.
It was. I mean, it's a lot more disgusting.
It just painted her in a horrible way, and I think still people have to pay for that, right? People vilified her.
Yeah.
What Donald Trump has been doing, the things he has been doing, are, in my opinion, are worse. And he does deserve to be held accountable. But I don't think impeachment does anything except make his approval ratings go up, like Pasta said. And it also has his base. It infuriates him to support him because it just creates more media, more attention for him. And in the end, the people lose because we're literally creating more propaganda for him to thrive off.
Yes,
and he does thrive off negative energy. This is how Donald Trump gets ahead. And it's a waste of time when we should focus on replacing him with somebody that's running for president. A progressive. We need to vote him out.
Vote him out.
I don't like Donald Trump as much as the next person, trust me, but it's a waste of time. And I think this is just another game. Once again, like the show that they're putting on. Republicans bad, Democrats good. Meanwhile, the things that we need fixed, the policies that we need aren't getting that fixed.
Yeah, we talk about
addressed.
that. The Democrats keep on yelling that we need to unite to defeat Donald Trump. We have to, all these just empty platitudes and stuff. But what are they going to impeach him on, fam? They're saying obstruction of justice for a crime that was never committed. I mean, the Mueller report came out. They struck out. Complete struck out. They didn't even get a piece of the ball, fastball coming by. They missed it by a mile. They failed. They sent their little minion out, Mueller, who lied about weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, or was so completely wrong that we should never listen to him again. But they sent him out, and he came up with nothing. Squadouche. What are they going to impeach him on? What's the whole thing? Corruption? Didn't we already know that Donald Trump was corrupt when we elected him? Not we. I didn't vote for him when the people elected him. Yeah. So what are they going to impeach him on?
He should have been in jail a long time ago, and he could probably go to jail after. But I just feel like this is a waste of time.
So should have Clinton. So should Obama.
Yep.
So should George W. Bush. So should Reagan. Every single president by that fucking magnitude should go to jail. Okay, do you remember fucking James Clapper? The Obama administration was spying on people. Okay? They frauded the people and were spying on everyday people. All the NSA, remember that stuff? And Clapper went to Congress and lied. Once again, your hypocrisy is worse than our hypocrisy. No, if you want Donald Trump out, you beat him at the fucking polls. And that's the thing right now, is that I don't really think the Democrats want him out.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they're going to beat him with Joe Biden. Hell no. They sure as hell ain't going to beat him with Kamala Harris.
Or Elizabeth Warren.
Well, let's talk about the reasons I put up the reasons why I think impeachment helps Donald Trump. Number one, it makes him look like the victim. Okay? The Democrats struck out on a collusion, like we said. Now they want to seem to double down on a bad bet, fam. Can you give me a little insight to this? Does this not make him look like a victim if they try to impeach him on.
To his supporters, it does. Absolutely. And also, we're not here to defend Donald Trump. We're here to point out the hypocrisy of what's going on, because ultimately it hurts the progressive movement. It hurts the American people, because when they're doing this, his base is going to be like, oh, you didn't find anything, which they didn't. They didn't find any evidence of him directly colluding with Russia to
Fix
make
the election.
Hillary Clinton lose. Hillary Clinton lost because she was a terrible candidate. We all know this. She didn't campaign right. She was just the most horrible candidate. She cheated Bernie, not just her, but the entire Democratic establishment, actually. And that's why we have Donald Trump. Yeah. Now we're doing the same thing again, and they think they're going to have different results.
Yeah.
It's insanity.
It also doesn't make them look like a victim. It makes the Democrats look like they're full of shit. Like, oh, please. I think this is a tactic that's going to make those people stay at home continue to stay at home. They're going to realize that there's no opposition party to Donald Trump, that they're doing this bullshit. And let's talk about the second reason, fam, because this is one of the reasons why I think the Democrats do it. It keeps Americans' eyes off policy. If you're really against Donald Trump, you should be against his policy, especially his warmongering policies.
His warmongering, his taxes.
Yep.
The fact his what is it? His the trade that he's doing, the deals on trade that he's doing, the sanctions he's imposing, everything, all of this, that's hurting us. Not the fact that you're trying to impeach him and make him look like more of an idiot. He makes himself do that. Let him do that.
Yeah.
He's really good at doing it on his own. Why are we pushing to force us, the Democratic Party, to look like they're just pushing on something that's just not there? It makes them look bad. And people are sick and tired of the little games, the little show, the theater, the bad actors.
Yeah.
We're sick and tired of it.
I have a question, fam. Yes or no, in your personal opinion, do you think a lot of the Democrats don't attack him on policy? They rather attack him on these fringe stories like Stormy Daniels or his tax invasions. But do you think they don't attack him on policy because they stand behind a lot of the policies themselves?
Well, yeah. I mean, let's see. The establishment Democrats all voted to increase military funding. Mm-hmm. They voted for what he voted for. They also are taking money from insurance companies. They're taking money from Big Pharma. They're taking money from Wall Street execs. Mm-hmm. They are literally doing the same thing he's doing, at least a centrist, blue dog establishment type of Democrats. Yeah. So how are they going to criticize him on that? No, they can't. They have to rely on the emotional things, how he talks, how he sounds stupid, how he's offensive and vulgar. And of course, I mean, he is all those things, but policy-wise, if you're not attacking him, you guys have to ask yourselves why they're not doing that.
Yeah, and that's the truth, man. I think that was a great point, fam, and that's why I asked you these important questions. Breaking it down with fam. What about this one, fam? This is the third reason. On his next campaign, he's going to use this shit like no other money. They wasted money. He's going to have a dollar sign on how much they wasted to find nothing on Russian collusion and how much time they wasted and stalled votes when they tried to impeach him, okay? He's going to make them look like donkeys because they put in money, our hard tax dollars, to go after witch hunts that didn't pan out, fam.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're literally helping him uphold the idea that Democrats are just a bunch of liars and, a bunch of they're not helping working people. And he ran like that. And if you're dumb to still believe that, that's what he is, an anti-interventionist populist candidate, because that's just not the case.
You're right.
But he still has a way to make people believe that when the Democrats are just as bad, if not worse, with the way they're acting. So really, in the end, again, we end up losing because none of our issues are being discussed. And the only couple people that are talking about policy are constantly being attacked or blacked out by the mainstream media. Mm-hmm. So there you go. That's how you get another 4 years of Trump. Because nobody, I think, can beat Donald Trump except maybe two people that are right now running. And that's it.
Well, let's talk another thing. Let's play devil's advocate, fam, because we do a lot of time we spend a lot of time, holding the establishment Democrats accountable. Okay? Let's be on the side of established Democrats who want this impeachment right now. Okay? What ways do you think it actually hurts Donald Trump? Because the number one way I put down, and tell me what you think about that, it will rattle him again. This they think that his fuse is almost at the very end. This is their opinions of the whole Russian collusions, of being down their necks on top of them. The Dems are hoping that they can finally rattle him and shake Trump to his core. I put good luck on that one, but what do you think about that, fam? Could they rattle him with this anymore?
I mean, I don't really think. I think he he takes that and that makes it look like, oh, look at the Democrats trying to push fake news and blah, blah, blah. The Mueller report showed nothing. Like, I just think it's not going to rattle him necessarily because he has his base that supports him and is like, no, you're right. And he has the evidence on his side, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So what, like, you're literally empowering him.
Yeah.
There's no way this is really actually making him look lesser in the eyes of the supporters. The people who don't like him already aren't going to support him.
Yeah.
But a lot of people hate Democrats more than they hate Donald Trump. And that's the truth that I think a lot of even progressives aren't understanding here. You live in bubbles, and you live in these bubbles where you think people agree with you, that people hate Donald Trump, because it's the popular thing to do. The neoliberals and the centrists have taken to hating Donald Trump and bashing him, making that their target. And Bernie Sanders and Tulsi have constantly talked about how that doesn't help at all. This isn't just about defeating Donald Trump. It is about avoiding the conditions that led to him.
Absolutely.
And if you're going to continue making that your focus, we're going to lose, and everybody loses, including, it's like the proportions are catastrophic if he wins or if another neoliberal wins. It doesn't matter. The status quo will remain. It's like Game of Thrones. Nothing changes.
Oh, that was great, fam. Here's another one. How about this one now? Listen, and I think this is what some of the establishment Democrats are doing. They think that from the anti-Trump movement, and I really like to talk a little bit about this one because I'm going to be breaking down a Donald Trump video he had on Fox the other day.
Nice.
And Donald Trump said something that maybe just hit the bar and the space bar to pause it and say, get GTFOH, which is, you know what the hipsters call it. A lot of establishment Democrats think that this will split his forces within the Democratic Party, and they'll make that known publicly. They're trying to say that they can split the party, whereas when Trump said the other day, he says the Democrats stick together. The Democrats stick together. Unlike the Republicans, the Democrats stick together. And I was like, oh, no. If you don't understand what's going on, the Democratic Party is way more fractured than the Republican Party. Because the truth is, when election time comes, the Republicans get in line and go and vote. That is how Donald Trump, a guy who's never been a politician before, never been in politics, was able to beat Hillary Clinton. Because enough Republicans got in line. And he tore Ted Cruz apart. He tore Rubio apart. He tore everybody apart. But they were all his friends after he beat them and the way they got in line. And you will see the Democratic Party, how split it is, when you see what we come back with from the convention. Because you're going to see progressives on one side and establishment people who think that the same practices are okay on the other side. And Adam Schiff that we just put up there, once again, he just put out a tweet going after Donald Trump. They never care about policies or making the middle class grow or helping working men. All they want to do is attack Donald Trump because they got nothing else. Do you think it's a possibility that they can split forces within the Republican Party, fam, if they impeach him?
No.
Is it possible?
No.
Why not?
The Republicans come together. If there's one thing they know how to do is unite and just stick to it and vote for whoever is the front runner. That's what the Republicans do. They constantly do that. They've shown this time and time again. They do that because they all have one similar mindset. Leftists, on the other hand, and liberals are more fragmented in their views because they all have different opinions and they want to make sure everybody's opinion is heard. So in that sense, that creates more of a fragmented thing. But let's talk about the fact that the centrist and the neoliberals and the neocons have a lot more in common than they do with progressives and independents and people who are maybe some libertarians who don't want, the government involved, who don't want us to go to war. Like, I think we need to start thinking less as a right or a left, black and white. Things are never like that. It's never that simple. Yeah. Things are always in the gray areas. We saw that in Game of Thrones, and I think I keep referencing it because a lot of people were upset that some of these characters weren't all good or all bad. They don't realize that's how people are. That's how humans are. That's how our politics is. It's never clear what is the right or wrong thing. And we need to stop thinking about just choosing one side or the other.
I think that what you said there was so awesome. Johnny found the video the other day. We put it up on my Twitter. My Twitter. We tweeted it. And Johnny put this up, and I had to do this and stuff. And it was at the United Nations press conference. There was somebody from Code Pink there. And it was just so beautiful. And Johnny said, Pasta, you got to watch this. Because he said plain and simple, the divide is not between Republicans and Democrats. Democrats.
That's a good one.
No, it's the one below that, right? The second one right there. Can you watch this? Johnny, this is beautiful.
In Congress, but I'm sure, knowing this country for a long time,
check this out,
that even in Congress, the division regarding Venezuela is not between Democrats and Republicans. My experience tells me that the division is between pro-war and pro-peace. And you can find pro-peace people in all places. And we want to work with pro-peace people. I know soldiers, former CIA agents,
Watch this.
former veterans. I mean, people that lived all their lives working with wars and with violence, and they don't agree with what's going on now. And on the contrary, I know people who never had touched a weapon, and they are so eager to go and kill Venezuelans.
Boom, fam. It's not about Republicans and Democrats. It's about pro-war and pro-peace. And that's why people get clouded with this whole Republican and Democrat thing. The reason why we show up to a lot of Democratic stuff, Democratic Party things, is because there's progressives trying to interject themselves into the party and take over and change it. And we believe, I know he always says that change starts from the bottom to the top, but we've been working our way from the bottom, and we're here. So once he gets on the top, it's like the Matrix.
Yeah.
We start infecting the whole
both.
party. Everybody gets exposed. Everybody gets thrown out. We go on a tour to get grassroots candidates in the positions of the establishment Democrats that are holding those seats, and we really reform the party. And here's the thing. We can't let up like we did last time with FDR.
No.
Okay? The Wallace thing was a shame. Truman should have never been president. Wallace should. And Wallace was further left than FDR. So we can't let up this time if we get that opportunity. So, I mean, just saying what you said, fam, I had to play that. And it's really nice to play one of my tweets because usually you're the star of Twitter. But to play an awesome Twitter, thank you, Johnny Tsunami, who got me that thing, which is so true. It's great. It's really not about a Republican and Democrat anymore, fam. It's about pro-war, pro-peace, and pro-policy and negative policy.
Absolutely.